Good morning. This is perhaps one of the hardest subjects that I have to deal with in this ninth wave. I'm actually going to be sharing a dialogue with you between myself and another person who has been writing back and forth to me for several days now on Facebook for over a week. And I'm going to entitle it Our Wounded Souls. I might change it by the end, but I've looked at several titles and that's the one that comes out of my mouth at this point in time. And as a 9 in the Enneagram and as the ninth wave, a voice for the ninth wave that is being heard around the world, I think it's important that I share with you some of the struggles that we're going to have in this ninth wave as we heal ourselves as humanity. And before I even share this dialogue, I want you to know that I'm this person that's the other end of the dialogue with me. I've been doing Ho'oponopono because I feel the pain that's being expressed and the anger. I feel it in me. And I'm saying to this person, but not just to this person, but to all people that are represented by this idea, I'm saying, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. That's Ho'oponopono. And I encourage every one of you to do Ho'oponopono, recognizing that when people are hurting, that hurt is part of you because you are part of God. You are an expression of God. And the only way it's going to be healed is if you recognize it in yourself and heal it in you. Anyway, let me share this dialogue. I'm going to read right from the pages of my Facebook account. A dialogue, the first one was April 1st. And this individual, his name is Michael, wrote, I think you spend too much time on Facebook. The American soldier needs to do what they're told, and that's it. The only reason you people protest is because white soldiers are the majority of the dead. If it were black soldiers, you could care less. You people only complain because it's a black president ruling, and this eats you people up. White soldiers need to obey, and that is it. Let me say that this was not a response to one of my videos, but to a video that I posted about soldiers protesting the war in Iraq and Afghanistan and protesting war in general. So it was not a reply. His was not a reply to my particular video, but to the video that I posted on Facebook. Anyway, on April the 2nd, I replied to this gentleman, the American soldier has not only the right, but the personal responsibility to refuse any order that is unlawful, and provisions are even made for conscientious objectors. Following orders is how the military has gotten out of hand, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with race. A few days passed, and on April 5th, Michael wrote, you know who runs this country now, and we will make sure of the re-election. I responded the same day, for your information, Michael, I voted for Cynthia McKinney in the last presidential election. In case you do not know it, she was a black congresswoman from Georgia who had the balls enough to stand up to the bullies in Washington, D.C. that work for the corporation known as the United States of America. What is happening in our world is not about black or white. It is about freedom and justice for all, regardless of race. Furthermore, the time is rapidly approaching when we will stop the insanity of war. Michael responded the next day. Now, what do you mean the time is rapidly approaching? Lots of white people keep saying one day, oh, one day, man, all you people do is talk. We need action. This country needs to be humbled. They need to open all their borders to all countries so that we don't have any more white rulers. We need to import brothers from Africa. These will help the country. I responded the same day, Sir, you are seeing life as only a matter of race. Neither injustice nor peace have anything to do with race. It's about the human heart. Are you willing to love everyone, regardless of anything? Those that are not willing remain the problem, not the solution. 2 days later, Michael wrote, Agree, but let's bring in a few million Africans here, and then I'm sure you will find these qualities. Are you willing to fight for the cause of true open borders? I responded, Can you not get beyond race? We are one family, a human family, no division, no separation. Michael wrote the same day, Good. We will once you fight for the right to bring our people in. Is that not a fair request? Or do you want me to just be friends with you with no proof of your allegiance? And then I responded again yesterday, Sir, with all due respect, you have a totally one-track mind, and mine does not run on that track. End of conversation, sir. And Michael wrote to me today, You are a hypocrite, racist, hypocrite. And he has that segmented like it's shouting it at me, hypocrite. I uncovered that you are a white man with empty words, no substance. We are all about action, not just typing love words. Wherever you post bullshit empty words, I will expose you so that people can see how hypocrite you are. This country belongs to the world. You get it? All Africans and Asians have a place here. We must come in the millions. Now, what is wrong with that? No, there is nothing wrong with that. Only to a racist who would not want to see immigrants enter this land. I think I forgot something here. Did I read them all? I'm going back and looking. Oh, I did miss something. Back on April the 2nd. I didn't read that. I didn't read his reply from April the 2nd. And when I said it does nothing to do whatsoever to do with race, he wrote, Yes, it does. You people always say that. When that filthy George Bush was starting wars, none of you cowboys were saying anything. But because it's a black man in the White House, now the true leader of the world, now all of a sudden you people have a conscience. Well, it does not work that way. We are going to war against the white cowardly soldiers need to sacrifice themselves to the world because they owe it to the world for all the black history. Things have changed, my friend Ron. It will never go back to the old way. that black man do all the dirty work. Now it is white soldier to do the dirty work. You know who runs the country now, and we will make sure the re-election. I don't know how I missed that large paragraph, but I think I did. So I read it now so that you have all of the segments of the dialogue. As I said, this is a difficult issue because we all have wounds in us. I mean, I have gotten into dialogues about people's sexual orientation, about people's religion, about gender, because we all have wounds. And I'm encouraging each of you that listens to me and hears me, whatever the source of your tuning in. I invite you and encourage you to recognize that all of these wounds are part of our human experience and embedded within our psyche, within our souls. And it's our job, at least those of us that recognize that we are healers, to take this in and transmute it and transform ourselves in the process. We are not separate from these attitudes that Michael is expressing, these wounds that he is expressing. We're not separate from that, not one of us. If we're Native American or whatever, there have been tremendous atrocities committed by humans against other humans throughout human history. This is a matter of record, and it's indelibly etched in our consciousness and our conscience. And it's not about throwing blame. I'm not blaming Michael or anyone that might identify with Michael in this. I'm not blaming him for his feelings. His feelings are his feelings, as is true with each of us. What we feel is what we feel. Now, what are we going to do with these feelings? Are we going to continue to try to perpetuate the injustice by giving like attitudes of injustice toward those who we perceive as our victimizers? Or are we going to move above and rise above being a victim? That's what I choose to do in my life. I felt a little guilty this morning about telling him it was the end of the conversation. And yet at the same time, when I wrote that yesterday, I felt hopelessly engaged with someone that just was not willing to see beyond the wound that he was experiencing and feeling in his own soul. It's not about immigration or more segregation or putting black people in charge of white people. That has nothing to do with anything from my point of view. It does from his. We have a different point of view. He sees the remedy as victimizing the opposite race so that his race can feel superior. It's not about superiority or inferiority to me. It is to him. And I'm sure he represents many other people that feel that way. And each of you that feels that way is a part of me. Because I am a child of the living God. I am a son of God. And so are you, by the way. But as a son of God, I don't see myself as separate from any of this. Not any of it at all. And that may be a hard concept for many people to understand. But I take it to my heart very seriously. And my desire, my greatest desire, is to help people like Michael heal. And I don't have the answers. I don't know how to reach Michael. I just don't know. Perhaps my friend Kirk Nugent can help. I don't know what the answer is. I wish I did. The answer is love. But how do you help somebody to love when all they can see in their own life is that which separates them from someone else and from others? this is the challenge that we face in the ninth wave. And I don't know what the exact key is that's going to trigger the changes that are necessary in human consciousness. I know they're going to happen. I don't have all the whys and the hows, or I do know why, because Spirit wants us to heal and grow up and become adults of God instead of just children of God. I have to leave you with that this morning. And it's a little bit more difficult and less inspiring a message than yesterday's. And there will be days like that, and I may deal with this subject again and again from other points of view. I don't know. Each day is a new day, and most days I don't know when I first wake up what I'm going to share with you. But this was weighing heavily on my heart yesterday, and it weighs heavily on my heart again this morning. And when I saw his response, I knew that I had to deal with it, that there was no putting it off until another time. It had to be dealt with right now. So I do bless you. I do love you, Michael, you too, and everyone that you represent. And it really isn't about race, because there's only one race here on this planet. I call it the human race. And I leave you with that. Namaste, and God bless you. Thank you. Hard one.